Some have hypothyroidism. Bonnie here, grandmother, fibromyalgia, type 2 diabetes, lost a foot off her waist. Tracy lost close to 40 pounds of body fat. And let me make a key point here. If you're an endomorph type woman, and you might not be, but if you are, have a higher body fat percentage, you don't need to be 16% body fat to look really good in a swimsuit. Women with a higher body fat, higher estrogen set point, endomorphic type women, you can look very good at 24% body fat. Whereas, I'm not going to scroll back, but there's two other girls in their 20s that were bikini competitors. They look better at 15% body fat. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but my point is, like, Tracy looks really good here. Bonnie, 50-something, looks really good here. You don't have to be 18% body fat to look really good if you're an endomorph. Both these women were early 40s, kids. And the photos from the rear to demonstrate the kidney or love handle area, how much it decreased in 3 months on their program. So let me get rolling with this tonight. So basically, bottom line is that I used to be someone who always thought that it took drastic changes with my diet or in my diet to create big changes in fat loss. I thought drastic changes is what it took to create big changes. But then after months and even years of macronutrient manipulation and restructuring meal placement on myself and on hundreds of clients over a 15-year period, I was able to identify several small changes that could leverage big results. In other words, making 3 small changes each day can make a huge difference after a month. Think of it this way. Pushing the gas with the emergency brake on isn't the best way to go faster. Once you release the brake, you can go faster with less effort. So, in other words, once you release the brakes on your eating, you will immediately speed up fat loss. It doesn't matter your body type, somatotype, age, height, weight, body fat percentage, gender, or hormone levels. And that's when I finally realized something. If you just apply these small daily changes, you will notice huge results at the end of the month. Okay, so that's when I realized that once somebody implements these key fundamentals, they're going to put themselves in position for greater success. Now, we're going to pause for a minute, and I'm going to have a poll for you guys to pull up, and I'm going to have to minimize the screen to do that. That's just the way the system's set up, unfortunately, so don't panic. When I minimize the screen here, no one's going anywhere, but I'm going to minimize the screen, and I'm going to send you the poll. So let me bring it down here for you, and I'll put it up. So let me put my poll up here. Don't panic. I'm still with you. So vote real quick. Let me know what you think. Just off what I've said, now I'm just scratching the surface. Are you starting to see how eating the right macros, calories, in foods are much more effective when structured correctly? Is that starting to make sense? So we have, you can pick one of these 3 answers that best fits you, that best fits your opinion, that best fits the way you think about that. So we'll take a minute. Go ahead and submit your vote. Get them in, get them in, get them in, get them in. Submit your votes, please. Get them in, get them in, get them in. All right, Bethany voted. She's saying, I already eat clean and count macros, but still can't make progress. Let's see. Tracy says, I can't vote on my iPhone 6. Well, that's fine. Just do your best. Tell you what, type in what your answer would be. Just type in 1, 2, or 3 if you want. Let's see here. We got 2 more coming in. Whenever I make a change, I don't see positive results. 2 people said that, and that's a common one too. So good. So we're getting some feedback here. So let's jump back on the webinar. Good deal. Good deal. Let's jump back on the webinar. Let us hop back on. So we'll jump back. That was quick. A few minutes, knock it out. All right, let's roll with this. So, got some good info. Problem number 1. No difference in eating on lifting days versus non-lifting days. Okay, that's a big problem people have. Now, here's what I mean by that. Your eating isn't structured off of your energy expenditure, and it needs to be. So that's a problem. Your eating, your food allotment, your food load, your food should be structured based on your activity level or your energy flux. In other words, your energy turnover, energy expenditure. In other words, on days there's a high exertion, you want more quality calories. And when I have someone sign up, I ask on their eval, it asks, why don't you or list the foods you eat on your lifting days and on your non-lifting days? And I've never had anybody in over 1,000 evals say to me, oh, or list that. They always say I eat this. They'll list what they eat, but they say it's the same on lifting or non-lifting. That's a problem. Okay, that's problem number one. And I'm going to tell you the solution to that in a minute. But we got 3 problems, and I'm going to give you the 3 solutions. Problem number 2, dehydration. I'm going to say literally 99.5% of every person I've worked with is on borderline dehydration. When you don't drink enough water, I don't mean you drink an adequate amount. I mean you just don't drink enough, period. You're going to slow down your metabolism. The body is 75, I think 80% water. So water is important for everything from cellular hydration, metabolism. And if you don't drink enough water, it slows down. Another problem is oftentimes people mistake thirst for hunger. I got that backwards. People mistake hunger for thirst. I still got it backwards. My point is people will be thirsty but think they're hungry. In other words, when you're dehydrated and you don't drink enough water, it can increase your hunger. So one of the things I tell people is drink X number of glasses or gallons a day. You want to be super hydrated. Now, I'm not saying this is a water diet or it's to, skip a meal but drink water. That's not what I'm saying. Don't misunderstand me. What I'm saying is once the eating's in place, we want to replenish your system with an adequate amount of water. Most women drink more coffee than they do water, and that's sad. That is problematic. So you got to do this. Now, this in and of itself isn't going to fix the eating because eating is most important, but in my opinion, water is the foundation of the food pyramid, in my opinion. So if you don't have the water taken care of, it's going to be a tough row to hoe. Problem number 3, eating processed food and dairy. Now, you can make the argument, well, protein bars aren't food, they're supplements, but they could be a meal replacement. So Greek yogurt. Now, before we go further, Greek yogurt can be part of a healthy diet. But with that being said, you show me a 42-year-old woman that's got 2 kids at 32% body fat that signs up with me, and I'll show you somebody that's eating Greek yogurt every single day. So you gotta connect the dots on this and follow me on this. You could plug it in sporadically if everything else was in place and still do well, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that think eating Greek yogurt will automatically make everything right. Now, then it gets really bad. They don't just eat Greek yogurt. They sprinkle on cereal. Now, it might not be Cocoa Puffs and it might not be Lucky Charms, but you're sprinkling on grape nuts or fruit and fiber or whatever cereal, and you're just going to raise the high glycemic carbs. Okay? Then you sprinkle on, then you read somewhere that honey helps, fertility or something ridiculous. And so you put honey on there. All of a sudden your sugar shoots through the roof and you eat that and you're hungry 45 minutes later and you have no energy, or your energy spikes and then it dips an hour and a half later. And your body fat doesn't drop at all and you can't figure out why. Well, what's wrong with dairy? Guys, dairy contains lactose. And I'm not just picking on Greek yogurt. I mean, it could be – another one I get is string cheese. I don't know why women love string cheese so much. Tracy says it needs plain strawberries. Oh, that would be good. Blueberries, strawberries, peaches, that would all be those are some good things. But once again, Greek yogurt really shouldn't be on most programs. Adding something different to it isn't. That's the point is that we want to remove it. We want to remove it. So with that being said, let's keep rolling here. So solution number one. If I can get out of here. All right, solution number one. Now, before I give solution number one, who can remember what problem number one was? Problem number one was eating the same food on lifting and non-lifting days. Now, let me say this. All these meals were taken by a little girl client. She was a client named Jess from Australia. And so this isn't something I just made up. This is actual food from someone's program. Now, first thing you want to do, you want to increase, and C stands for carbohydrates. You want to increase your carbs on lifting days. All right. Now watch this. You want to increase your protein and fats on non-lifting days. Now here's a little key bonus that I'm about to give. And I've never given this out before, but it's so simple. And I do this in almost all my programs. But this is one of the foundational principles in my programs. I'm giving this away. Number 3. This is what I'll do. If you alternate your protein and carbs meal, and then your next meal have a protein fat meal, then protein, carb, protein, fat. In other words, alternate the way your meals are structured during the day. It don't matter if it's a lifting day or a non-lifting day. The point is alternate the way they're structured. So protein, carb, it doesn't matter if it's 4 meals a day, 5 or 6. My point is, however many meals you eat, alternate protein, carb, protein, fat, protein, carb, protein, fat. What that's going to do, that's going to stabilize your blood sugar levels. It's going to reduce insulin levels. It's going to promote satiety, and it's going to promote fat loss. Now, you got to have the right foods in there in the right amounts, but this is a good formula, if you will, starting point. And this is something that has worked phenomenally for me, and I use this. So, solution 2, remember the dehydration issue? Drink water and eat your first meal immediately when you wake up. The best tools to crank up your metabolism are healthy food and water, not coffee, not weights, not cardio, not a protein bar, and definitely not a fat burner pill. Now I still have women. I have a girl, Jen, I think she's from Pacifica, California. Hope she sees this. Bless her heart. She's been with me on and off for 3 years. And she's like, I can't get my water in the morning. And, she says she just can't drink. It's just too tough. So here's what I do for me, and this has worked for a lot of other people. Number 1, when you wake up, I drink distilled water. Okay? If you whatever goes down smooth for you. If you like some type of a specific brand of bottled water, I don't know. I like distilled water. Now watch this. I like room temperature water. First thing in the morning, distilled room temperature water, it just goes down faster. If I drink chilled water from the fridge, I can't drink it as fast. I can drink it, but it's just tougher to drink. You wake up, you hadn't drank anything for 6, 7, 8 hours. That works well for me. Now, this is what works even better. If I add some Emergen-C, or I don't like greens powder, but some people do. It works for some people. I like Emergen-C. It gives it, whatever flavor you like. I like the citrus flavor. And it's just easy for me to drink. I can room temperature and distilled water. It's smooth. You're like, well, what's the big deal of it? The big deal is that's a great way to get immediate fluid and water in your system. You want to front load your water for the day. You don't want noon to roll around and you've only had half a glass. You want to get, I could easily drink a full gallon of water. I could easily drink a full gallon of water. The first hour and a half I was awake without discomfort. I'd have to push myself a little bit, but I'm drinking a half a gallon easy the first 2 hours I'm awake, so get your water in early, front load it. You don't want to be drinking 6 glasses of water from 5 o'clock till the time you go to bed. You'll be peeing all night, and you're not going to be peeing all night. I get up at least once a night. Not a big deal for me. Whatever. But my point is that you want to front load your water. This is a strategy that works for me. Don't get up, watch TV, check your email. If you got to use the restroom, hit the restroom, handle your business. And within 3 minutes of the time you wake up, you need to be drinking water. It's just, you got to do it. It'll pay off. All right, this is the big, I'm going to take the most time on this one thing right here. Pay attention. Pay attention to this. This is going to be the biggest thing I'll go over tonight. Solution 3. Okay, do you remember what problem number 3 was? I'm not going to back it up. Problem number 3 was processed refined foods and dairy. And I explained why. Now, this is the solution to that. One of the 3 driving forces behind my program, my eating program, is the principle of volumetrics. Now, before I get into that, I've covered this before in years past, but it's a great time to cover it again. You want to increase your leafy cruciferous you want high volume food. Multicolored, leafy green, blah, 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 blah. You get the picture. Zucchini, avocado, or not avocado, although avocado could be a part of it. Arugula, kale, romaine, raw spinach, sprouts, diced zucchini, diced bell pepper, cherry tomatoes. My point is, you want a thick, high volume food. Now, before I go any further, look at this diagram here. Each one of these shapes represents your stomach, okay? Every one of these examples is a hypothetical 400 calories. Oil is very calorie dense. It doesn't take up much space. It has a very low volumetrics. Chicken, baked chicken, fried chicken, whatever it is, it's small, medium amount of volumetrics. Same amount of calories, but what I just described. Vegetables, leafy, green, multicolored, they're going to take up the most space. Now, here's what that's going to do. That's going to maximize the principle of volumetrics. Why is it maximizing it? Well, if you understand when I just explained volumetrics, it's the same amount of calories as another food, but it takes up more space. And in other words, it's not as calorie dense. A calorie dense food, not always, but oftentimes is bad for you. Okay, it's not good. Almost always, but not always. All right. And a high volume food that's not calorie dense is almost always good for you. Not always, but almost always. With that being said, if you take up more space and it's a high volume, nutrient dense food that's healthy, this is what's going to happen. When you increase the principle of volumetrics, here's what happens. Number 1, you're going to speed up your metabolism through the thermogenic process of digestion. You have no idea the profound effect digestion has on your metabolism. People have no idea. I'm not talking about eating a big bowl of cookies. That it has to be from the right foods. And if you maximize or implement or apply the principle of volumetrics with the right foods, then what can happen is you can burn calories and increase your metabolism just by eating your next meal. And that's why in a lot of the photos I've showed you tonight of a lot of the women, we're able to do less cardio and less gym time and eat more food. Every single one of them. That's what happens with every single client. We do less gym time and eat more food. And that's why they're able to do it through the process or principle of volumetrics. That's why it works. That's why we're able to do that. Now, another benefit is it increases satiety. Third benefit is you have, well, I should have put this number 2. When you have balanced blood sugar levels or stabilized blood sugar levels, you don't have dips. You're not sluggish. You're not hyper. You're not tired. You're not hungry. You're never stuffed. You're balanced. You're balanced throughout the day. And that's what this helps promote. And when you have that, it's going to result in increased satiety. Okay? Less cravings, less hunger, but a stronger appetite. Now, let me pause. Let me pause for a second. You know what? We're going to roll with this. We're just going to skip this poll. I want to keep rolling. But let me ask you this. Answer this question to yourself. Well, let me run this poll. I do want to run this poll. Let me roll it fast. Let me decrease my screen here. Don't panic. Don't panic. Let me run this poll. We're good. You guys are doing good. Let me run this poll. I do want to get this poll in real quick. I'll run it fast. We'll hustle through this. I want to know the most helpful thing you learned. So hurry up and vote. If you're on the phone, then type in which one. I'll read them off. Number 1, What was the most helpful thing you learned? Learning meal placement versus non-lifting days in lifting. Number 2, how important water is and how to ensure I drink enough of it. Number 3, the power of volumetrics through fat loss. So we'll take 25, 35 seconds, get these votes in, and because I want to see what you guys think about it. I want to know. All right, someone says the power of volumetrics. Someone else does, and I don't know whose votes when y'all do it. I don't know who it is. So don't worry, I'm not looking at that. Someone else says learning the meal placement versus non-lifting days. Let's see here. Good. You guys are doing great. Very good. So we got some good stuff in. Let's bounce back and wrap this webinar up. You're doing great. We'll wrap this thing up and get you back on screen sharing. Thank you for your patience with this. It's let's get it right back up here and roll it out. Let's roll with this. Let's wrap this thing up, put it together. So good. It helps me to know what helps you guys, okay? All right, now I'm ready to dive into the solution that I found to skyrocket your success. So how do you put it all together, what we just learned? All right, so let's put all together what we just learned so we can skyrocket our success. Number 1, specific eating on lifting versus non-lifting days. That's our green piece of the puzzle. All right, drink immediately when you wake up. That's the blue. All right, this should be, I think it should be yellow, but yellow doesn't show up, so I made it light blue. The principle of volumetrics. And somatotype specific. Now, let me back up. Somatotype specific also means hormone specific. I want to be clear on that. If you're estrogen dominant. Okay, let me be clear on that. And that's why I created the solution, the oscillating macronutrient eating pattern. It puts all these together in the right way with the right specificity and implements a phenomenal fat loss component that everybody is missing. Now, if you're here tonight, you've accomplished number 1 on my pyramid of success. And for those of you that have not seen this, this is my pyramid of fat loss success. And if you can't read it, I'll read it to you. So the very first step, and if you go through this, it's 7 steps, you're going to have the body of your dreams. And if not the body of your dreams, you're going to be very fulfilled and satisfied with your progress. Run through this in lightning fast. If you're here tonight, you've done number 1. Take ownership and accountability that you are lost and need help. If you're here tonight, you've done number 1. I got 2 people. We got about 22, 23 folks on here tonight. Of those 22, 23, 2 of them that I saw for certain have done that. They've obtained the right map. 2 of them lost. Both of them lost. One lost 1.5 inches. One lost 3/4 of an inch off their waist the first month. I think one lost 4 pounds. One actually lost 5.5 pounds. So you got to attain the right map. You got to read your program, meditate your program, absorb your program, have faith, trust, and confidence in your program, follow, obey, and execute your program to precision. Then watch your program work. Then just sustain it and renew it. And that's it. That's how you do it. So this is the first benefit. Eat more food to speed up your metabolism. We want you out of the gym and in the kitchen. Think of your metabolism like an engine. The way you speed up an engine, you hit the gas, right? Okay, the way you speed up your metabolism is to hit the gas. And the way you hit the gas or fuel is by eating the right fuel and a lot of it. Benefit number 2, we're going to torch off stubborn body fat, drop benches, skyrocket energy levels. You're going to have less hunger but greater appetite. Whoa, time out. What's the difference? Hunger, appetite, same thing. No. Hunger refers to when your blood sugar level dictates your hunger. Your appetite refers to your desire to eat and or how it is affected by or regulated by your metabolism. Now, they can go hand in hand. You can have both, but there is a difference. Okay, so follow me on that. It's good to have a healthy appetite. We've all seen someone that wakes up and I'm hungry. We all know someone, and you might be like this. We've heard these people. They wake up, I can't eat. I'm not hungry for the first 2 hours I'm awake. What that tells me, you have a slow metabolism. So you don't want to wake up starving necessarily, but you want to wake up with a healthy appetite ready to eat. And we'll go on more about that. And the third benefit, unwavering confidence. You know with absolute certainty you got the social proof. You got the handheld support. You got the customization aspect. You got the personalization aspect. It's tailored and keyed through artisan craftsmanship to your personal preference. It is hand in glove. You don't eat, or excuse me, you will be eating a lot. You don't think, wonder, or assume, you just eat. Quick summary of benefits. It's the perfect combination of fat incinerating foods. Here's the key, specifically designed for your somatotype, your age, height, weight, body fat, gender, diseases, and digestive issues. Guys, I'd say 1 in every 5 people that sign up with me have hypothyroidism. I've got a video I did interviewing a client 3 years ago. It's like 20 minutes long. I can show you if you want. Hand in glove support. Don't think, just follow. I'm not going to read all these. These are some, this is, she's 31 at the time, 3 kids. This happened in 7 weeks. Went from 23% body fat down to, and I tested her personally, 12.7. Bonnie did great, 50-something-year-old grandmother, and lost a foot off her waist. Grandkids, fibromyalgia, type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes now. Okay, now this took her a year. So it might take some people a little bit longer. Let me be clear on that. Allison did phenomenal. Now, if she was someone that it just wouldn't come off, or she was, the drill, same song, different verse. So this is my ironclad guarantee. Is one thing about me, and anybody that's been on board will tell you this, you're going to get a rapid response. You're going to get multiple responses. Now, you might not have, you shouldn't have many questions because it's so clear cut and you have everything laid out. But the point is, when you post in your client journal, which is, private for clients only, I'm on that multiple times a day. I'm not somebody you're not going to get a response once a day. It's going to be multiple times a day, questions, comments, feedback, whatever you want to do, social support, mentorship, accountability. If you get your program and you're like, hey, hold on, I changed my mind. I really don't want asparagus, or not sure I really want to, not a problem. Boom, I change it. The reason I do this and the reason I make such fast adjustments is to get you going. We want you eating. We want to get you on the program as fast as humanly possible. And, 2 hours could be the difference in the next day. And then something happens, you're busy. We want to, I'm a big fan of efficiency. We don't want to waste time. We want to get moving fast. I can't emphasize speed enough. Anyway, but more than any, we all know putting things off is bad. Procrastination is bad. Not like it is it's even more important in the diet, not even fitness, diet industry. Okay. In the diet game, you've got to get started and get moving, because success breeds success and movement will breed more fat loss. When I say movement, I mean eating your next meal. I don't mean going to the gym. Let's say you get it and you say, hey, I was hungry after, hold on. And I've had probably 2 people in the last 3 years say they were too hungry the first week. Okay. 99.9% of people, you're not going to be able to finish your meal the first week. But then what happens when the thermogenic process, when the principle of volumetrics kicks in and the thermogenic process of digestion gets rolling, I've had people say they can't even finish their meals the first week. All their meals, they'll finish most of them, but not all of them. And then come Monday of the next week, they're starving by meal 2. Or they're exaggerating, but the point is they're very hungry already. And what you're like, well, how is that possible? Well, easy. If you paid attention during the principle of volumetrics, we speed up your metabolism. I'm going 100 miles an hour here. My principle of volumetrics is rolling. My thermogenic process is burning full speed. So I had a good day of eating today. Ate everything on point. But the point is, if you're too stuffed, we want you to go on ahead and just do your best. But if you're hungry,